Hey guys, what's growing? It's Heather at Bush Poppy Farm. It's a not super cold, but very windy day out here today. And I'm cold right now, but I am not putting on extra clothes because I'm going to be working in the chicken run area here, trying to get the rest of this hardware cloth attached to the fence to keep the predators out. So I know that I'll get hot and that'll be good, but right now I'm really cold. Also today, I need to start a bunch of pepper seeds. Now I'm not starting all of my peppers. Generally, I usually wait longer to do that, but I have not been getting big harvests of peppers. And in Zone 9B, you would think I could get a lot of peppers, especially considering in the summertime we get up into the triple digits and peppers love heat. So I think what I'm going to do is two successions, basically. I'm going to start some now, and then I'm going to start some when I would normally do that, which is week 8, I think. This is week 3. This is 4. Jeez, this is week 4. So I'm going to start some now, both some sweet and some hot. I have a huge variety, so it's not going to be a problem. And then I'll start some at the normal time. It is still way too cold at night in the greenhouse for the peppers to germinate. So I do have a little tiny light system in my laundry room, which I'll show you. And that's where the peppers are gonna stay till they germinate and then they grow. I'm gonna keep them in there because it's warm in there. Probably 68, 70 degrees. So that'll be good for them. Before I get to that though, it's time to start working and I need to get moving so I can get warmed up. So we have a lot of new subscribers, and so I'm gonna review what this area is because many of you are probably wondering what I'm talking about. This 10 by 17 area here used to be part of the flower farm. When I first started my flower farm, I had just these beds here. They went all the way back to the fence, almost. I had like a foot walkway back there. And so I had an additional 10 feet of growing space in each of these beds. And when I started leasing at the farm, I decided to turn these beds into vegetable only. However, when the owners tried to sell in October, I had to plant flowers here. So that's why there's flowers planted here as well as at the farm. These are all spring flowers. Once they're done, they'll come up and the vegetables will all go in. And you can see I still have some open spots here, so it's not a big deal. Still plenty of space, plus my 4 raised beds up there. But this area, I wanted to convert to chickens. Not a lot of chickens, probably 4 at the max. It is a 10 by 17 area, so 170 square feet. I am going to be building, not just me, my whole family. We're going to be building a chickshaw based on Justin Rhodes' chickshaw that he uses. So you can drag it around. Part of why I want chickens is for eggs, but also for compost. So this area will, what I have to do now is install this hardware cloth 1 foot deep so that predators from outside can't dig under the fence and get in. And so that's going to go all the way around here. And then we're going to build another wall here, fence. And it'll be high enough that they can't fly out, even though we'll keep their wings clipped. We're also going to put posts along here and suspend a net over the top here because we have hawks that just sit in trees around here, as well as owls, and they could just swoop in and take a chicken. So it will be predator safe at that point. And what we'll do is drag the chickshaw every other day, move it to a new location. And the chickshaw is pretty small. It's a 4x4 size piece of equipment, and it's on wheels. And so the chickens will spend time out here in this big run. They'll scratch, they'll deposit their droppings, and over time they will build up compost for me that I can then use in my garden. And anything, scraps and stuff from the garden, go back here to the chickens. This is a permaculture way of keeping chickens, and it works really well. So all the vegetation matter here that's on the bed now is from the flowers from last year. When I cleaned out those beds, I put it all in here. It's decomposing like it's supposed to. Once I get the hardware cloth anchored down, I have to dig a slot down a foot deep, put the hardware cloth in, and then attach it. Once I get that done, then I'm going to flatten this area as much as possible with a rake, and then wood chips are coming, and we're gonna do a deep layer of wood chips. The way that this system works is the wood chips and all of this already composting material acts as what Joel Salatin and Justin Rhodes call a carbonaceous diaper. It collects all of the chicken manure, it trickles down, it feeds the soil microbes, and then the whole thing turns into compost over time. So I can harvest it, in about 6 months or more, depending on how it goes with the chickens. They're gonna be babies when I get them, just a couple days old when we get them in the spring. And so they're gonna be in a brooder for a long time. So it's not really going to be, I won't have any compost this fall, I don't think, out of this, but probably next spring I will. So yeah, it's exciting. It's going to be a lot of work, but we're looking forward to it, and it'll be fun. I've always wanted to have chickens. It's been really hard to find a location on our property where it would work, because we are, oh gosh, it's so cold. Because we are on a hill, and so finding flat, level land has been a challenge, but it makes the most sense to have them here next to the garden because it's a symbiotic relationship. Yeah, so that's the explanation of why I'm doing what I'm doing today. I'm gonna get to work.
The wind's in my hair on the open road. My tank is
Well, I'm not cold anymore. Dang, that was hard work. But it could have been worse. Since we've had so much rain, it was kind of nice because the soil's really soft. So I'll show you what we did over here, what I did over here, and where I left off and why I left off where I did. So you can see I dug down a foot all along the fence line here, and I buried the hardware cloth and then stapled it a million times up against the baseboard, and then backfilled the holes. Now I stopped here because this is where the rest of the fence is going to go, along where this string line is here, and we need to build a gate and all that kind of stuff. So there's no point attaching that cloth to the fence there, because it just wouldn't, I'd have to take it apart in order to do the rest of the gate. Whew. Well, I'm glad that's done. There'll still be more to do, but at least I got that big part of the project done. I'm looking forward for the wood chips coming, because I can fill this area where we've already done the work. We'll just move them out of the way up against the fence line when we're working on building this part of the fence and a new gate. So now I need to take a little bit of a break and go get my eldest from school, have some lunch, and then we're gonna start seeding peppers. Okay, blocking mix made, soil blocks made. Now it's time to start some seeds. I have a lot more seeds to start, but the majority of them are direct sow, and they're going out at the farm. So I'll be doing those on, I think, Saturday. I was going to do them tomorrow, which is Friday, but tomorrow the wood chips and the compost for the front garden come, and so I'm going to be here working on that tomorrow. Wheelbarrow, wheelbarrow, wheelbarrow. Actually, one of my favorite things to do, so I'm looking forward to that. So what I'm starting in here today are seeds, both for the edible garden and for the flower farm. The first two are 2 packets of Bells of Ireland. I direct sowed these already and they didn't take, and so I'm actually going to try them in trays. I know they don't really like to be transplanted, but Floret recommends starting them indoors, so I'm going to try that. So I've got these 2 to put in, and then I have for flowers. It's so funny because every year I say I'm not starting any more Rudbeckia. I don't need more Rudbeckia because I don't grow it as a row crop. It's actually a perennial here for us, and so I have a bunch already at the garden, at the farm in the perennials beds. But I couldn't help myself. These are some 2 newer varieties for me, and I think I'm going to start them, and they take a long time. Rudbeckia takes a long time to germinate and also to grow because they're basically a perennial. So they're not a quick grow flower. So these, I think I'll put a few out at the farm, but I think the rest I'm actually going to put here in the cottage garden because that area needs to be totally revamped. I need to pull out dead things and put a whole bunch of brand new compost down and fertilizer, and then put some new stuff in there. So, all right, so the two Black-Eyed Susans, Rudbeckia, are Denver Daisy and Chimney Mix. And I mean, they're line drawings, but they're super cute. Okay, and then one more flower from Floret that I've never grown before. This is Xeranthemum. Let's see what it says. In spite of this plant's delicate appearance, it thrives in the heat and lasts a surprisingly long time in the vase. Plants are quite tough, and each produces a flush of 15 to 20 branching stems loaded with multiple silvery white flowers. Long, wiry wands have a delicate, graceful quality and smell like desert sage. Can be used both fresh and dried. That's actually one of the reasons I got this. Anyway, I'm going to start these, and yeah, we'll see. I've never grown them before. All right, food. So like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm going to do 2 successions of peppers and see which ones do better. It's been going down to the low 30s to upper 20s at night. And I have not been running the heater in here because up to this point, all the seeds that are germinating, they're on the seedling heat mats, and they're fine. They don't care about air temperatures being cold as long as their soil is warm. But peppers are not like that. So I'm going to start these peppers, and I'll show you where I have a tiny little space that I used to start all of my seeds in when I very first got started in 2019. The first seed starting year was all in my laundry room. And then the next seed starting year, I purchased we already had one of these metal racks, these baker's racks. And I set up a system in our garage where I had a plastic cover over the whole thing to act like a mini greenhouse, kind of like a germination chamber, but it had my heat mats and my lights on it, but it would get packed full. And then I did that for 2 years, and then this was, we built this greenhouse it's been a year. It's been a little over a year. We did it October of 2021. So yeah, so it's nice to have lots of space to start seeds, but that indoor space, if I heated this greenhouse with my little heater, which I could do, except we're still struggling with electrical issues, and I don't want to mess up the lighting or anything like that. So and other than running an extension cord all the way to the house, which I don't really want to do, I'm not going to worry about running the heater in here. But if I had a heater in here, then I could go ahead and start these peppers in here. They'll be fine inside the house. There'll be a happy temperature for them to germinate, and they'll have their own light source as well. So I'm going to be starting 2 sweets, and I'm not sure if this one's a sweet or a spicy. Okay, yes. 2 sweets and 2 mild spice. The 2 sweets are Carmen, which I grew last year. Did get a few of these. They were good, but they were still green in September. So that's why I'm hoping, if getting an earlier start, I can actually get more peppers and have them ripen sooner for me. And then this one from Baker Creek, Etuda. That looks really good. It's a Polish commercial variety, supposedly very sweet. And then my spicier peppers, they're not super spicy, is Craig's Jalapeno, Grande Jalapeno. I can totally see myself making cowboy candy out of these. All right, and then pepper, Black Hungarian. This looks awesome. Kind of looks like a black jalapeno, doesn't it? Unique black fruit, shaped like jalapenos, mildly hot, and have a delicious flavor. All right, so I'm just gonna get all these guys started, and I'm under a pretty strict time frame actually. I only have about 20 minutes, and then I gotta go pick up my other son from school, so I may have to break up this seed starting into a couple of chapters, but now I'm gonna get going. so glamorous laundry room. It's very tiny in here. Anyway, this is the setup. Here, let me turn the light off because it's just too bright for you to see. So this is the little Gardener's Supply light that I started all of my seeds in eons ago. Actually don't really need the light yet because these haven't germinated. I would oftentimes, I always had a heat mat here. I'm not going to worry about that. It's not cold in here. I might open this out and stick these on top so that they have some insulation from the countertop. But otherwise, these guys will stay right here. These are the peppers until they are germinated, roughly 50% per tray. Then I'll turn the light on. And I've got just a little plug-in timer over there to help run it. That's it for me today. Tired, gonna go take a shower and get this up so I can edit it for you guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. Tomorrow I'm going to be moving wood chips, which I'm looking forward to, and getting the front garden looking nice so that I can give you guys a little tour of what it looks like. It'll probably end up being more like a early February rather than late January tour, but we'll see how quickly I can get it done. Thanks again for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.